Good afternoon, and thank you to the conference organizers for inviting me here to speak. I'm not going to try to time the slides like everybody else did. I'm just going to ignore my slides and talk. So there's some pretty pictures up there. They don't really have much to do with what I'm talking about. I'm going to talk to you about the PREDICT project today and how we're using digital surveillance in the PREDICT project to try to anticipate and understand that interface between humans and wildlife and how diseases might jump over that interface. The PREDICT project is part of the United States Agency for International Development's Emerging Pandemic Threats Program, and it's a 5-year project to try to understand how diseases will move from wildlife into humans at the human-wildlife interface. We know that wildlife are a rich source of novel zoonotic pathogens for humans over the last 40 years. We use digital surveillance in order to help guide our on-the-ground field surveillance. We're doing surveillance in about 20 countries in Latin America, Central Africa, South and Southeast Asia. Now, digital surveillance data are merged with field surveillance data, people actually going out on the ground and sampling animals to help direct and inform some of the predictive modeling efforts we're doing, and then this information is brought back into the field so that we can refine our surveillance as well as provide information through our PREDICT partners such as HealthMap and ProMed. One of the interfaces where humans interact with wildlife that we're very interested in at the Wildlife Conservation Society is the wildlife trade. The wildlife trade is huge. Billions of dollars of, it's a billion-dollar industry, multi-billion-dollar industry. Wildlife are moved from every corner of the planet to every other corner of the planet, largely unmonitored. The pictures I'm going to show here are actually some of the few places in the world where wildlife is actually seen openly sold. Much of it is underground and illegal. And we know that this trade, while probably second only to climate change and as a threat to conservation of wildlife species, does form also a threat to human health. The first high-path H5N1 avian influenza case in Europe came in the pant leg of a traveler. It was a crested hawk eagle, which was in a smuggler's pant leg. The first cases of monkeypox recently in the United States were associated with the pet trade of Gambian rats. We know that SARS played a role, for example, of taking a benign virus in a Chinese horseshoe bat, helping amplify it. The farm civet trade in China helped amplify that virus, and we know what happened with SARS. So we're really interested in developing an understanding of how the wildlife trade might move disease and pathogens around the world. The problem is, as I mentioned, it's illegal. It's big money. Rhino horn is worth more than gold and more than drugs. I timed that one. Look at that. So when you have such a massive illegal trade, it's very difficult to try to map that, to understand that social network. So what we're doing is we're using the news aggregators and the tools of HealthMap to try to help us understand when there's a confiscation, when there's something happening around the wildlife trade. We'll intercept news articles about somebody smuggling pangolins from Indonesia to Vietnam. That news article will have information about where the animals are coming from, how many animals there are, the species, the type of animal, and where it's going to. And over time, we'll create a database that will allow us to probably give us the best index, the best central index there is on the planet of the wildlife trade as a social network. And you guys are fortunate enough today to be here at the time of the public announcement of the website. And I'll show you the URL in a second, or it will show you. The point is that the wildlife trade is bad for conservation and it's bad for human health. And we think by getting a handle on where wildlife are moving and the diseases that those animals have in the trade, we can better understand the risks to human health and work to intercept it, to try to reduce this trade that's threatening us all. I'm done faster than my slides, look at that. Anyway, you know what? There we go. There's the website, and please check it out. It's been alive for about a year. We've been collecting data for about a year, but now today we're making a public announcement of it, so people can actually go to it and look at some of these news articles around the wildlife trade. Thank you.